Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you clicked on this video because you're curious. Man, the PP19 is getting added to Battlefield 6. I know that gun was really good in previous Battlefield games. Even the game before Battlefield 6, Battlefield 2042, the PP29 was one of the best guns in the game. So I'm sure the PP19 is good and worth unlocking, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just end your confusion right at the beginning of the video. This weapon is terrible. And I had a really poor experience unlocking the attachments for this video. And I think this weapon actually displays something we can expect more of in the future of Battlefield 6, and something that happened quite frequently in previous Battlefield titles, which is the more weapons you add, the more the weapons are actually the same, because there are only so many things you can end up doing when it comes to weapon balance. So for you masochists out there, first I'm going to go over the weapon builds and the thought process for using this weapon if you actually want to do that to yourself. And then I'll discuss the problems moving forward whenever it comes to adding new weapons into Battlefield 6. So if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and let's talk about this unfortunate piece of weaponry. First off, for those of you that are unaware of how to unlock the PP19, you have to complete the bonus path here, Explosive Charge, for the PP19. It is, of course, the last thing you unlock. In order to contribute to this bonus path, you need to complete the weekly challenges, which are not showing up on my screen because this game functions perfectly. But as you can see, once you do all of these weekly challenges, you will get the PP19. Now, in terms of its basic stats here, on the surface, nothing is really that suspicious, right? I mean, 25 damage, 720 rate of fire. There's some fantastic weapons in the game with 720 rate of fire. The SG-553R, one of the most versatile and deadly weapons in the game, has 720 rate of fire. So surely this is good news for the PP19. Going into the test range here, from 0 to about 9 meters, it will kill in 4 bullets to kill. And then out to 21.5 meters, it will kill in 5 shots to kill. Then it will drop to 6. Then it will drop to 7. It'll stay 7 shots to kill to about 70-ish meters. And then past about 75, it drops to 8 bullets to kill. And someone in my chat told me it drops to even 9 bullets to kill. But I don't necessarily believe them, Twitch chat, I mean, how can you possibly believe Twitch chat? So it's very clear the damage model absolutely sucks on this weapon. The attachments might have to just carry it through the game. So as you can see, it does have the big old 53-round helical magazine, famous for Battlefield 2042, and obviously being one of the best guns in the game. This is how the PP29 came in that game. This is the first build I recommend. So it only has a CQB suppressor. So if you want to use a suppressor, this is your only option. 30 points. So CQB suppressor, big mag, and recoil buffer. Or optionally, if you don't like the reload, you can go with mag catch. But this is the suppressed big magazine build. Here it is. And then the other build that I came up for this weapon is actually just this. This is more of a synthetic tip, versatile sort of style build. So again, you're going to want to use CQB suppressor. New cryo barrel, because it's insane. If you don't know what the cryo barrel does, I'll link the video in the description where I explain what it does. I made that video yesterday. 35-round magazine, synthetic tip, and recoil buffer. Synthetic tip does matter for this weapon, although, I mean, it's still not going to save it. So, what does the PP19 actually have going for it? Unfortunately, the answer is almost nothing. And I'm not even exaggerating. The only things I can think of are the fact that it just doesn't have much recoil, okay? But other weapons don't have much recoil either. It's accurate, but other weapons are accurate. And this is the problem, which I'm going to touch on later in the video. There's only so much you can actually do when it comes to weapon balance. If you want to use the PP19, you are better off using the P90. The P90 is a directly better version of the PP19. It has higher mobility. It has a default 50-round magazine. And it has essentially the exact same or potentially even better time to kill. The PP19 is also a directly worse version, TTK-wise, of the Burstfire SL9, the MP5, and believe it or not, the MP7. And people might say, oh, well, the PP19 has a big magazine. Maybe it's good for flanking. Allow me to introduce you to the M123K, which has a better damage model, faster rate of fire, better TTK, and double the ammo. So no, I mean, it just doesn't even make any sense to use the PP19 in any way, shape, or form. And this is why, when you have this many weapons in the game, you will eventually reach a point where adding more weapons kind of just doesn't matter. We're already seeing this happen with the sniper category. If you take a look at the snipers, you see that basically all the categories are filled out now. Now, if they add a brand new bolt action, it's going to have to do something incredibly unique to even justify using it. The new L115 is completely worthless in comparison to the Mini Scout, the PSR, the M2010 ESR. Literally the only reason you should ever use the L115 is if you want sweet spots in between 120 meters and 175 meters. That's it. So it's the same story when it comes to the PP19. They are basically at the stage where they're running out of different ways to make new weapons. So eventually what's going to happen is weapons like the PP19 are going to be added, which are essentially a worse version or a clone of other weapons like the P90. This phenomenon is not exclusive to Battlefield 6. This has happened in pretty much every single Battlefield game, but most famously in Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 had so many weapons that were the exact same as another weapon that was already in the game, but it just looks differently and may function slightly differently, but mathematically, when it comes to just looking at the raw numbers and the time to kill and how the weapon actually functions, they are identical. They just look different. Or one might shoot slower but have higher damage. One might shoot faster but have lower damage. But again, mathematically, they achieve the exact same time to kill. When it comes to the PP19 in Battlefield 6, unfortunately, there's pretty much no reason to use it, and I think that's actually incredibly deliberate, because I think they learned from Battlefield 2042, and they did not want, under any circumstances, another PP29 meta. The people that handle the weapon balancing at DICE are incredibly intelligent, and you can tell because of the way things are balanced against each other in Battlefield 6. If you understand the delicate nature of everything within the game when it comes to a balance perspective, you would know that the developers very deliberately made sure the PP19 was not a meta weapon. And that's probably good for the game, because having a big magazine, very mobile, very snappy and quick SMG be one of the best weapons in the game is something that a lot of people would be very, very angry at extremely quickly, and we saw that with the CZ, but if the PP19 was even half as good as the CZ, I think people would eventually get even more tired of it, because it would be one of the only weapons you would ever see. When it comes to the future of Battlefield 6 weapons, you can fully expect for there to stop being a lot of unique weapons added to the game. Maybe there will be a couple of unique DMRs added, because that is, I think, the weapon category that is the least traveled. But in terms of the other weapon categories like the assault rifles, carbines, SMGs, LMGs, and bolt actions, I think it's safe to say that we're going to see a lot more clones being added, a lot more weapons that look different but are actually the exact same as another weapon in their respective categories. And that about wraps up this video. I'm probably never going to use the PP19 ever again unless they buff it, which is really unfortunate, but yeah, there's really no reason to use it. Sorry guys, I know you're probably disappointed, but maybe some of you will appreciate this video because it saved you some headaches. So if you did like the video, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, check out the stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this very YouTube channel. And of course, sub to my second channel, putting out a ton of different videos on that channel every single week. And I've been having a ton of fun. We're actually barreling towards 5K subs on the second channel. So thank you guys so much for that. And thank you for hitting almost 126,000 subs on this main channel. So again, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.